Hello everybody, this is the Old School Noob, and today we're going to be going through a deck list for an ABC KARAKURI deck, which is more budget oriented than anything else. It is a lot less meta competitive than you would probably expect from an ABC deck, however it does stand up against meta decks. It is substantially less expensive, and you can, mostly through the spell and traps you can see that, and also through the extra deck. Most of this deck is actually commons and stuff from the Kyber structure deck, which came out last year. So just getting right into the deck, we've also got the three Assault Cores. So this is obviously part of the core of the deck and part of the ABC combo. So we've also got 3 B Buster Drakes and of course 3 of the Crushed Wyverns. So these are just the ABC cores, so you would essentially buy 3 of the Kyber deck, so you can get all 3 of these cards. All 3 of these cards add up to about £10 anyway, so you're kind of just getting a load of free stuff, because everything else in that deck is practically useless apart from the Buster Dragon. So we've also got 2 KARAKURI Strategists. These work into a strategy I will show you later, ironically, and we've also got 2 Watchdogs as well. These also work into the deck as well, allowing you to summon Synchro Monsters at level 8, mostly using these guys to activate their effects as well. So we've also got 2 Angel Trumpeters. A lot of people think these are useless, but it came out recently, and when you think of it, it is a level 4 normal monster, which is a tuner. A lot of older spell and trap cards work with normal monsters, especially those that are level 4 or lower. So you could even spin back into the old sets and have a look to see what works with this. But this is primarily targeted by unexpected die to special summon it from your deck when you have nothing on your field, so that you can then go on to special summon a Synchro Monster. So we've also got 2 Cockadoodle-Doos. Everyone also seems to think that this is awful, because I had a crap time trying to get these, and where I actually got these from eventually was Amazon, because no one had these. Everyone thinks these are crap, but in this deck they work so well. Because when you go second especially, you get a free monster, plus you then get to go into a KARAKURI Synchro Monster, especially if you're holding a level 4 in your hand. So it's not actually that bad. Plus it's an Ultra, plus it's a chicken, so you can say that you beat your opponent with a chicken. So finally, to finish off the monsters, we have got a Maxi, because that's kind of just in every meta deck at all. Like, if you were to have a deck with no Maxi in it, then it would kind of be a bit weird, but that's mainly because it is such a good card when most of the meta includes special summoning monsters. So onto the spell cards. There are somewhat less spell cards than there are monster cards, but there are still quite an amount. There are a substantial amount less trap cards in this deck. So from the spell cards, we've got 3 copies of Unexpected Die. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. It allows you to special summon a normal level 4 or lower monster from your deck when you have nothing else on your field. So obviously if this is a first turn, you can get that out, and then you can get out a Union monster. So also, this is slightly altered from the original deck list, but I play 3 frontline bases. This is because I realised that frontline base, if you draw a frontline base in this deck especially, is very useful. Because say if you don't get something like a Cockadoodle-Doo or an Unexpected Die, it means you can special summon your Union monster and then normal summon a tuner KARAKURI. So you can still get out your Synchro monster even if you haven't got Unexpected Die. Also, it is a continuous spell card, meaning that you can use that effect every turn after that. Plus, even if your opponent Twin Twisters it, you've also got 2 left. When I had 2, I found it very hard to actually draw one, whereas when I put 3 in, I drew it a lot more, even though there was only 1 more in the deck. So we've also got 2 Terraformings, which is kind of self-explanatory, which is also a very good card for ABC Dragon fodder, basically, so you can just discard it and take out your opponent's cards. And of course, what we are going to be searching with Terraforming is the Union Hanger, which is the sort of 4th part of the ABC core. Without that, I don't think the deck would work at all. Like, if they just limited that, I don't think the deck would work, unless you had some supreme way of trying to search it out. We've also got 2 Twin Twisters, because this is, of course, going against meta decks. So Twin Twisters is of course something you will use to take out people's, I don't know, like Vanity's Emptiness or their field spells or whatever. So of course this is a great card to go against meta decks. It's not super expensive in comparison to a lot of the other meta cards as well. So we've also finally got an Upstart Goblin just to draw a card either in the first turn or any turn after that. But, you know, always another card could mean the difference between terraforming your Union Hanger or a frontline base, even a monster or a trap. It could basically cost you like life points or the match even. Onto the trap cards, there are a substantial amount less of these than monsters and spells, so let's get right into them. We've got the Poor Man's Solemn Strike, or kind of bottomless trap hole. It's Grand Horn of Heaven. It's a great card. I have used it quite a lot and it's very cheap. Basically, when your opponent special summons a monster, you just let them draw a card and you destroy and negate the summon. So say if someone tries to play a Dragon Buster, instead of spending 1500 life points or using a bottomless, you can use this, just let them draw a card and it negates the summon. Also, this is the special summon of anything. Doesn't have to be a specific attack value. So we've also got one Solemn Strike purely because I did actually pull one a while back. And we've also got a Solemn Warning, which is kind of self-explanatory in case you want to stop pretty much anything you want. Jar of Avarice, just to add back all your spells, traps. Karakuri is not really your ABC cards at all. Maybe you've lost all your hangers or something, you want to send them back. We've got Bottomless, which is kind of course, self-explanatory. We've got Vanity's Emptiness, and then Union Scramble. Union Scramble is basically the same as a Burial from the different dimension, apart from the fact that you actually get to summon all three of them. So, instead of sending the 3 cards back from your banished zone back into your deck, you actually special summon one of each ABC monster. And I don't actually think... Yeah, it's actually just 3 light machine monsters. So, it can be any of the 3 ABC monsters, and you can summon all 3 of one monster if you want. So finally onto the extra deck. This is the last part of the deck. We have got the 3 ABC Dragon Busters, which is kind of obvious. This is basically the thing that you're working towards, and this is the thing that absolutely wins games. In case you don't know what Dragon Buster does, if you discard a card from your hand, you can banish any card on your opponent's side of the field, which is just mental. We've also got 3 Karakuri Burritos. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is the really good Karakuri monster, the level 8 Synchro monster. So when you special a Karakuri monster and you change its battle position through an effect, you get to draw a card. So if you have 3 of these out, you get to draw 3 cards for free basically. And say if you were to have like 2 other Karakuri monsters that activate their effects, you get like 6 basically for free. 6 free cards for changing your monster's battle position. So we've also got Stardust Dragon and Stardust Spark Dragon because, you know, sometimes you don't want your stuff to get destroyed by battle, and we all know what Stardust does because it's just a relatively good card. We've also got 2 Karakuri Bourrées. Still a great card, but I don't seem to use it as much because I don't usually Synchro level 7, I usually Synchro level 8. But if you happen to have a Technician on your field and another Union monster, you can just special this guy out and he can change the battle position of any monster on the field. So, especially if you have another Karakuri out, and you can activate his effect, which changes the battle position, and then you can draw 3 cards. So, finally for the Synchro monsters, we have got an Ancient Fairy Dragon, pretty beat up one, but it's still an Ancient Fairy Dragon nonetheless. It basically means that you can, especially in a mirror match, this is very good in the mirror match, you can destroy your opponent's Union Hanger, and then get your own to your hand, which is excellent. So you can basically destroy their chains and then get your own hanger. So we've also got a Black Rose Dragon. We all know what Black Rose Dragon is, what it does. You can basically just use this to blow your opponent's field, especially if it's something that relies on having a field. And we've also got 3 Xyz monsters. We've got Hope Harbinger Dragon, which is an amazing card. If you can get this out, get it out as soon as possible. Especially, this is how you do it. You either have these guys or this. So I would really urge away from using Dragon Busters to summon this, but if you have spare Burritos on the field, you can Xyz those, because if someone tries to Regeki you, you can just attach it to this for free. It negates the Regeki and you just attach it to this. You get free material for negating spell cards. It's stupid, utterly ridiculous. So we've also got a Giga and X just to search out stuff, and also a Abyss Dweller. There is actually one more card I wanted to go through, which I would side if I had known about it, and I actually pulled this in an OTS pack the other day, just out of pure luck. Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. It's actually very, very good. You drop it and then you banish 2 light monsters from your opponent's graveyard. And obviously in a mirror match, that is insane. You can basically, if your opponent's decided to go the route of just sending all of their ABC to the graveyard, you could drop 3 of these and just annihilate their entire game. If they don't run Burial or the other card, I forgot what it's called, the trap card, but if they don't run those, you have won the game. They cannot get past that with just gadgets or something. Against the mainstream ABC deck that doesn't run those cards, you have won the game with this. It is utterly ridiculous. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the kind of strategical part of this deck profile. So this is kind of just a hand that I've made up, which is a kind of preferable second turn hand. I have only got 5 cards in it though. I kind of couldn't really pick a 6th card, but probably a good 6th card, I would say, might be something like a Grand Horn, so that even if, you didn't really succeed in getting whatever you wanted out, you could just have whatever, or destroy whatever special summon is happening. So what you would want to do primarily with this is, if your opponent has a field out, then you could special a Cock-a-doodle-doo in defense mode. So that's great because you already have a level 4 tuner. You would then, because you now have the Cock-a-doodle-doo out, you could not special summon that if you had any other cards out. You could activate either a frontline base or a union hanger, or even both preferably, and then you could actually special summon one of the 2 and then normal summon the other one, and either way the effect activates, by activating Union Hanger you get to search for one of the kind of ABC cards, and then you could even have ABC in your hand, which is probably better. So if you then have ABC in your hand, you can summon a Drake, and then summon a Wyvern, and then equip an Assault Core, or even a Buster Drake or whatever, and you would end up tuning together something like the Wyvern and the Cock-a-doodle-doo, and then you would get a Beredo, which would then allow you to special out a Sazan from the effect, and also from the Crush Wyvern you would be able to special out a Assault Core. So you would then have the 3 ABCs out, but first off you would synchro the Sazan and the Drake together, activate the Drake and the Sazan, well, not the Sazan's effect, but the Drake's effect at least, and you would get another Burrito, and then you would get another ABC monster to your hand. So you would then have 2 Burritos, and you would activate Burrito's effect and get yourself a Technician, and then use his effect on himself to change his battle position, which would then allow you to draw another 2 cards. So you would then have these 2, you'd also have an Assault Core and a Karakuri. Now, providing that your opponent doesn't activate anything, and this is the second turn, you would be able to just hit them for 5,600, depending on what they have in the field. Or, if this was your first turn, the best thing you could probably do is actually Xyz them together and make a Harbinger Dragon, just in case your opponent has a Regeki, and they can just eliminate your field. Because then all this work you've done to get these 2 Burritos out has gone to pot, and you've only got 1 in your extra deck left, and then you won't be able to summon a Harbinger Dragon. Also, from this, since you have an assault core on your field, you can either tune it with this Karakuri and make something else. I don't know, like, you could actually make a Bure and then change the battle position of him to draw another 2 cards. So you'd have drawn 4 total extra cards, which you could then probably play. So we've also got this Harbinger Dragon, and then we can even summon an ABC Dragon, because we've already got the 3 out of play, not out of play, but in play or in the graveyard ABC cards. There is the alternative, of course, which is to summon something like, I don't know, like an Ancient Fairy Dragon or a Bure, like this guy. So if you wanted to, you could summon out Bure and then activate his effect and then change him to defense position if you had not played the Harbinger, by the way. This is kind of like the try and screw your opponent over as much as possible, is Harbinger and then Dragon Buster, but if you're trying to play a bit safe, summon this without X-seizing. You summon the Bure and then you change him into defense position, draw the 2 cards and then end your turn. So you've got 4 extra cards in your hand, so you can start your next turn on a great step. However, if your opponent were to Rogeki, you wouldn't be able to stop it, which is why I would very much prefer to summon a Harbinger. Just as a sort of final word for the video, I just wanted to show you what I was trying to say earlier, which is using the Ally of Just a Cycle Reader. This is actually a very, very good card against a mirror match, so I'll definitely try and side 2 or 3 of these, because say your opponent has at least one of each card in, one of each card in the graveyard of the ABCs, and you think they're about to summon the monster and they haven't actually said they're going to summon it yet, what you would want to do is actually drop this, remove 2 of these from play. I would probably recommend these 2, because this fishes them from the graveyard, and really you haven't got any in the graveyard to get back, so you know it's better to take these out, because this is a searcher and this is a special summoner. So you get rid of these 2 and they can't even call the fact that they want to play it now, because the 2 cards aren't in their graveyard anymore. So they can't chain the summon because the cards aren't there to actually take out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and a comment below stating what you thought of this deck list, what you would improve, what you would take out, what you would add in, and how you think you could try and speed the deck up. Or if you're perfectly satisfied with the deck, please just say so and I'll agree with you very promptly, because I think it's a pretty decent deck. Like, for the price, you can't really moan, because my brother has actually got a relatively mainstream ABC deck, and this can actually compete against it. It might not necessarily win. It did win 1 out of 3 games, but it still won 1 out of 3 games because it was actually generally quite a bit faster than even using gadgets and Tsukiyomi. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.